Well, folks, it's that time of the year again. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to check and see where it is we stand on the pension issues. Because like we've been covering this for about 4 years now, and things have actually gotten a little better in the pension situation, right? But it's most definitely something that, I think that we all want to stand here and try to keep an eye on and whatnot, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to stand here and check this out and see what's going on. Right, this here is all the states by, how much their pensions are funded, right? And the worst ones are the worst ones are like Kentucky, Illinois, Connecticut, they're really bad. Alaska, right? Where basically what the situation is that you only have like 41% or 47% or 48% of the pensions that are needed for the state are actually funded, right? We covered all this in our last videos. I'll probably put a link to them in our description. But, it's something that we want to keep an eye on because of the fact that, it's an ongoing problem in our country, right? The current shortfall at the moment from, like the numbers that I can gather up is somewhere between $1 and $7 trillion is how much money is missing out of the pension systems in our countries. And no, it's not all robbery. I know like PBS and, like all these places that put out documentaries about how like the pension funds have got robbed. But the truth of the matter is that really these were not set up well. They expected returns that they weren't going to get. And there weren't enough individuals. Like pensions are a Ponzi scheme, just like 401ks, right? It's where it always requires more people paying in at the end of the day in order for individuals to continue to get paid, right? Basic premise. And it's not something that, is long-term viable as far as things are concerned. Now, the best place is actually South Dakota, right? South Dakota has 100% of all of its needed. South Dakota, Wisconsin, right? Washington, North Carolina, Oregon, Tennessee's pretty good. Idaho's, see how it starts dropping off. Florida's at 86%. This is how much money they actually need in order to fund their pensions, right? Now, wait, not that one, this one here. All right, so let's cover this here, right? Because I think this is important too. All right, the $10 trillion baby boomer problem that could sink Wall Street. Now, Wall Street money managers are paid based on how much money they have under management, and unfortunately for them, that figure could decline sharply over the next 20 years. Baby boomers have tucked $10 trillion aside for their golden years. The first wave of baby boomers are turning to age 70.5, right? That's this is from 2017, so like at this point, it's way past that, right? So 40.7 of American households currently have money in defined pension plans, including 401ks and 403bs. 28.4 have money saved in IRAs. Right now, the 76 million aging baby boomers that are already in or fast approaching retirement, according to a recent PwC survey, about half of baby boomers have retirements of at least $100,000, and roughly 15% of them boast accounts valued north of $500,000. Overall, baby boomers have $10 trillion saved in retirement accounts, according to the Bank of New York Mellon Corp. And therein lies Wall Street problem. As baby boomers saved for retirement, rising assets under management allowed Wall Street to bank years of big fees. And on top of that, right, we'll talk about this too because this is kind of important, right? Not only did they bank big fees, but baby boomer retirement money has been funding the vast majority of growth inside of our system for the past, 30 years. And that's highly important to understand. Like the reasons why, we had all these derivative assets and had all this growth and, these tech firms and things of this nature is because baby boomers' money has been trying to chase yield. And due to the fact that all the low-hanging fruit was already there. And, they need a lot of growth very, very quickly in order to retire, especially making up for like a 2008 and, from the, dot-com bubble crash and all these things. They were standing here seeking yield for years. And this is why we all think next year is going to be a major, major problem to where the vast majority of baby boomers are going to be retired and starting next year. And they have to take their money out, right? And have to start drawing down their investments. That means that there's going to be less money to be able to be invested as a whole. So as less money in the system means, less money under, management. That means less money as a whole to just go run around chasing everything. Well, currency anyway, right? So, that's highly important to understand. Now, let's talk about some other stuff, right? How did all this start, right? This is kind of important, to get there. So, where did retirement and the entire ideology of pensions come from? This is kind of important to understand. I think we need to do a little history lesson real quick, right? So the first actual retirement program was under a guy named Otto von Bismarck, right? Back in Germany in 1889, right? This guy stood here and introduced the old age and disability bill, right? At 70 years old, all retirees would receive, 1% or receive 5 shillings a week or something like that, right? The reason why he did this is because from 1820 to 1880 1820 up to World War I, nearly 6 million Germans moved into America. And the vast majority of them were of the younger generations, right? And in being so, right, it kind of destroyed Germany, Ireland, Britain's, a lot of Western Europe's ways of being able to live, right? Because what used to happen was that you had individuals all lived inside of a multi-generational house. So basically, when an individual was too old to work, they just, they'd have their kids there and the kids would take care of them, they die in that house. And that's how everything kind of passed on, right? But the thing is that, this really hasn't happened in forever now at this point, right? And we become accustomed to it. But truth of the matter is, this is a very new ideology of us standing here living on our own and not having our parents and grandparents living with us, right? The idea that everybody should stand here and live by themselves, inside of their house without their parents and the whole nine, is a really, really new idea, right? It's not something that happened, and it really started because of immigration to the Americas. Right. And because in America, it got to the point of where everybody had so much room and, so much value was coming out of the land that they had the ability to do so. Right. So I think we're probably going to be looking to go back to this. Right. Because at this point now we have something like 50% of the people who are under the age or under the age of 40 are, moved back in with their parents. Right. This is important to understand. I don't want anybody to really feel some sort of kind of way about, that's how, that's how they're living right now, or whatever it is, because this is a normal way of living. And I'll be honest, I've been doing a lot of reading recently, and I think we need 2 different legal systems and 2 different government systems as a whole. Right. We need one for everybody who lives outside of a city and one for everyone who lives inside of a city. Right? Because people who live inside of a city should be independent. They're more independent. They're all special snowflakes and shit, right? But everybody who lives outside of the city, what you should have is the government deals with you on a family basis, right? Not as an individual. You shouldn't be dealt with as an individual inside of, your household. Right? Your household should be dealt with by the patriarch of your family. And I know you go, oh, the patriarch. Yeah, we're going to bring it back. Oh, fuck the bullshit. This is how this should work. Right? It should be the fact that, the oldest working male inside of your household should be the individual that the government deals with and should be responsible for what happens to the household. Right? He should have the authority over the household in the same manner. But he should be the one who is responsible for what happens in that household as a whole, right? And I think this is how this should work outside of cities. And if you're going to be taxed on your income or your land or whatever it is, whichever way the taxes come, the taxes should go in his name. And if there needs to be help done with the family, you know what I'm saying, because of hard times, economic circumstances, or if, you're living off the land, whatever it is, that money should go to him. And he should disperse it out to the family. And I know everybody goes, oh man, these like guys are drunks and and gambling, all the nonsense, whatever the case is. I don't fucking care. Right? Legit, I don't give a shit. As a whole. I think we should go back to this mentality. I think that's how we should be dealing with all this. And I think this is the answer to our modern issues as a whole. Right? And we could probably eliminate retirement and pensions and all the nonsense that go with it in general. Right? If we go back to a better system. That's kind of the mental. Right? And like, you go, well, you know what I'm saying? How would you handle, you know what I'm saying, marriages? Like, where would they live? Well, they live with the dude and his parents, right? And the reason for that is because of the fact that, like, a dude cannot live under the parents of a female, right? And this is how you build generational wealth, and this is how you build families' wealth, right? This is how you maintain culture. This is how you maintain heritages. This is how you begin to have heritages. This is how you start to have, like, your own natural way of speaking in your better communities as a whole in general. This is how this works. This is how you defeat leftism and progressivism. Because you can't do it as a rugged individual, but you can do it as a family. Legit. So with that being said, I wanted to drop this video. And we're going to have more of a discussion on this at some point, But you know me, man, I keep strange hours. You know how things work. It is what it is. But anyway, yo, look, I'm Tom Pease with Pnoid News. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that motherfucking Patreon link. Support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Legit. Throw some love. Support the channel. Make all this worth it. It is what it is. Peace be like one. Later.